What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Wild Rift video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new patch notes. Wild Rift patch 2.1 is already hitting the live servers in a couple of hours, and as always we will be going together through all these changes. And this one has a lot since it is a big content update. We're going to be getting new champions, we're going to be getting a new replay feature and spectating feature, so that's going to be awesome for tournament organizers and for me, because I will finally be able to commentate on some nice esports matches as well on this channel. So make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell if you don't want to miss that. And of course, we're getting some balance changes. And we're getting some very needed ones. For example, that Kennen Nerf that a lot of people are looking forward to. Because let's be real, man, that boy, that little rat, he really needs it. He desperately needs it, okay? So let's see if it's going to be enough. But first of all, we're going to jump straight into the new champions that will come out sometime during this patch cycle. So, first of all, I'm going to be showing you both of them, Xayah and Rakan. And as you can see, they are, I mean, you can't see it, but trust me, they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Xayah right here is the marksman that is being added, and she's gonna be very nice. I think she's gonna be super fun to play. So if you are a marksman main, especially if you like those crit marksmen, then she's gonna be very interesting for you, and you might want to save your blue motes to pick her up right away. Now again, of course I can't judge how strong they're gonna be, but I can tell you what their abilities are going to be and just briefly give you a rundown on how they're going to play. So as I said already, she's going to be a crit marksman. She focuses all around spreading feathers onto the battlefield, which she can create with her auto attacks and her abilities, especially with her ultimate, which makes her jump into the air, turn invulnerable briefly, and spread a lot of feathers across the battlefield. And yeah, with her third ability, she can recall all these feathers to herself, and enemies hit on the way back are gonna take lots of damage. They're gonna, these feathers can crit as well, and they can get rooted as well, okay? So she's gonna be really fun. She's gonna have a very high skill cap, but she's also gonna have some very distinct counterplay. Hey, if you see a feather behind you, watch out. That's all I'm gonna say. That is, so it's a very nice champion release. She might be very strong, especially if you pair her up with a Rakan, because those two together, hey, it fits thematically. They're a boyfriend and girlfriend in that lore, and if you pair them up together in that dual lane, they're gonna enhance their abilities together. So that is always really nice to see, to have these little combos going on. And I think if you pick them together, they might become the strongest bot lane in the game, because that's how it worked on League of Legends PC for the most part. So yeah, that is definitely something to look forward to. I hope they're not going to be too OP together, but we'll see. And yeah, so again, very nice release, because she's going to have that distinct counterplay and very high skill cap. Moving on to Rakan. He fits a very similar thematic. He's also going to have a very high skill cap, and he's gonna have lots of agency. You're gonna have lots of power to carry your teammates. I know he's a support, which is crazy, right? But I think he's gonna be the single support that is gonna be able to carry the most. Not because he's gonna be OP or anything, but because he can engage like an absolute god. He probably is gonna have the best engage in the game, along with Malphite and Youmuu and stuff like that, right? But you can already imagine. Imagine RE Charm, but AoE. Okay? That's crazy, isn't it? His ultimate is exactly that. He starts running super fast, glowing, and whenever he walks into someone on the enemy team, he's gonna charm them and make them follow him briefly, okay? So you can imagine, man, he's gonna have some crazy AoE teamfight engages. One of his abilities also creates a little knock-up, AoE knock-up on the ground, which he can combo with his ultimate to just have such a long AoE CC, and his kit just flows super well together. When you pair him up with Xayah, he gets even more mobility in his kit, and it's just all in all, man, super nice design. Really looking forward to, personally, more looking forward to him. So if you are a support main, and if you're getting tired of just spamming that Lulu because she's currently absolutely broken, not getting nerfed, by the way. That's probably the only gripe I have with this patch, that she's not getting nerfed. But yeah, if you're getting tired of just sitting back and just shielding your teammates, you know, if you're more of an Alistair player or a Braum player, then this one will be right up your alley. Definitely save some blue motes for Rakan, and I think both of them will be positioned very well in the meta. Again, especially if you pair them up together. Hope they won't be too OP, but I think Riot is doing a great job with most of the new champion releases. Like, most of the Yordles weren't OP. Kennen was a little bit of a mistake, yeah, but there's 5 new champions, and honestly, Lulu is very strong, but she's not like super busted, insane broken like Kennen, where he just one-shots you. So I think this will be, I have faith in Riot. I think they will be doing a good job again with these two, and yeah, they're gonna be very hype. They're gonna make lots of games more fun to play as well, because again, they're fun to play against as well, in my opinion. Moving on to the replay feature that we're getting this patch. Replays and spectating mode. That is, of course, going to make esports much easier to watch now. So that's going to be good. Of course, up until this point, you had to have the tournament organizers had to have the individual players live stream their games themselves. And then the commentators watch that live stream and commentate over it. And they zap through the different live streams of mid, jungle, marksman, and stuff like that to see the different perspectives on both teams. Which of course wasn't ideal, but it was the only way to make it work so far. And now we're gonna have the proper way. We're gonna have that bird's eye view. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. You can see the UI is immaculate. It is perfect. Like, it is, I mean, you can't really do much wrong with it, but it looks really good. Nothing too cluttered. This menu is of course big, but you can hide it with this button. So honestly, just a very, very nice feature here, and something big, okay? This is really big. You will also be able to spectate your teammate, your friends in your friend list. So if you're waiting for your duo queue buddy to finish his game, you can just spectate him, okay? This will of course have 3-minute delay, so you won't be able to hop on voice chat and tell him where the enemies are. Don't worry about that. And your 50 most recent matches will have the replay thing. So your whole match history, that is exactly 50 matches, you will just be able to press the replay button and you will be able to rewatch it. So that is actually really crazy. That full 50 match history will feature that. So you will just be able to watch all your replays. You will never miss any of them. So yeah, that is really cool. Honestly, great feature so far. Of course, we'll have to see if it's going to be bugged, but it looks amazing. And here you can see, if you press on one of the champions, you can see his view, you can see the cooldown on his abilities probably, and all of that good stuff. Honestly, really, really nice. It looks very similar to Mobile Legends, but I mean, that's a good feature in Mobile Legends. So yeah, that's going to be very fun. I hope they add in-game streaming as well, like Mobile Legends has. I mean, Mobile Legends is a clown game, let's be real, but some of the features are pretty decent that other games like Arena of Valor, for example, lack. So yeah, Riot definitely doing a good job already in the open beta, adding stuff like that. Moving on, we have of course new skins coming out. They will not come out at the same time, of course, but we have the Lunar event coming. We have some Sweetheart skins here. They will probably come at Valentine's Day. I know you guys don't even know when Valentine's Day is. Hey, me neither, bro. When is it? February, March, April? Who cares, bro? Who cares? Do you know who doesn't care? Alice Nakiri from Shokugeki no Soma, my waifu. She doesn't care, bro. She doesn't want me to buy her chocolates, bro. You know, she's my waifu. She doesn't have a choice, bro. It's easy. It's easy, boys. I'm telling you, 2D girls are the future. Hey, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about Valentine's Day, being alone. It's all good, guys. Don't worry. Yeah. Anyway, Lunar event. I mean, yeah, you see these, man. New skins. It's gonna be cool. It's always cool, man. And I think this is the exclusive skin. This should be the Misfortune Lunar skin. She has rollerblades for some reason. I don't know, man, but it looks cool. I mean, you show some skin. Hey, you already know, man. I'm a fan. Anyway, this looks really cool, by the way, with this little thingy here. But yeah, it's gonna be very cool. It's gonna be exclusive, so only in Wild Rift, not on PC League of Legends, from what I heard. But I might be wrong. But yeah, moving on. Finally, to the balance changes. Of course, this is the thing that we most focus on this channel, because I want to give you my high elo opinion of what is happening. And the Kennen change is going to come at a later point. He's going to be like the 6th change or something. First, they're starting it off hot with Corki. And let me tell you, man, this is gonna be crazy, okay? Let's just have everything on the screen. First of all, it's a little bit too big, I think, okay? I already read through this, and I think this is gonna make Corki S tier, but hey, let's check it out. AD ratio on his Q is getting buffed from 0.5 to 0.7. That is pretty nice, you know. I already made a Corki video when he came out, and I already told you my opinion. I think he's a very, very decent mid laner. I think he has lots of good matchups like that Orianna, where lots of other champions really struggle against Orianna. So he definitely has his place already. I gave him a strong A tier, not an S tier quite yet, but I definitely think after this change, he's gonna solidify himself as an S tier mid laner, and he's gonna be a strong marksman as well if you decide to pick him in that position. And yeah, I mean, this is just the start. This AD ratio buff is very nice, but it's just the start. Moving on to his third ability, the Gatling gun. Armor and magic resist reduction is getting doubled on this ability, guys. Doubled. That's gonna be insane, I'm telling you, because this is armor and magic resistance reduction. So that means you also help your teammates because you shred it away from the enemies. It's a huge AoE as well. 20 armor and magic resistance in team fights. That's a lot of reduction, guys. Okay, that is pretty crazy. That is absolutely insane. And yeah, it's gonna make him much more potent in team fights. It's gonna help your marksman. It's gonna help your Kennen in the Baron lane. It's gonna help your jungler, whichever damage he has. Hey, it's armor and magic resist reduction. So this is already pretty crazy. But hey, there's more. Okay, I feel like a salesman here because hey, there's even more. You're getting even more on top of that for the same price. Look at this. His ultimate missile barrage is getting buffed out the wazoo, my guys. It is gonna be crazy. Pretty much all across the board, all damage numbers, all AD ratios are getting buffed on the small and the big rockets. And while these buffs may not seem too big, I mean, on the small ones, you have like a 20 damage buff at level 2, level 1 is staying the same, which I honestly agree with. Again, also the Q is getting buffed in the late game with that AD ratio. That is honestly good because his early game is very potent. He's a very potent lane bully in the mid lane again. As I said, but you know, I felt like he deals decent amount of damage in the late game, but this is definitely going to help him a lot. Again, might be too much. This doesn't seem like too much, man. 20 and 40 at level 3, right? Keep in mind though, you have 6 of these. You have a lot of these, man. You spam them out. So it's gonna add up. It's really gonna increase his damage output a lot. Now, that being said, I feel like his rockets should hurt a little bit more. They really felt underwhelming. I think most of his damage was in his auto attacks, which again was fine. His damage was a little bit shifted compared to PC, where his rockets really hurt like a truck. But yeah, I mean, this is a little bit too much again though, because the AD ratio is also getting buffed. Again, it's staying the same. They're gonna make his AD ratio scale with levels, which is quite interesting and cool. But late game, 0.65, that's almost tripling it, guys. That's almost tripling it. And that is not it. That is not it, because the big one is also getting the same treatment, the same ratios basically. Because of course the big one just deals twice as much damage as the small one, and everything is getting increased accordingly. So we will have a 1.3 AD ratio on this big man's, or small man's, big rocket here in the late game. Which, if you have a Mana Immune, a Trinity Force, an Infinity Edge and stuff, that's going to be a lot of damage, okay? That's going to be a lot of damage, and I think this is pretty much going to solidify Trinity Force as a must-have on him, because it gives you a lot of attack damage. So, yeah. Huge buff, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be playing Corki a lot on my live streams, so again, little sellout, you know, if you're watching this but you don't know who I am, I stream every day, check it out. We're gonna be playing a lot of Corki starting tomorrow, because yeah, this is gonna be cracked out, man. I'm looking forward to it. He's always fun. Again, my verdict is S tier, okay, mid lane position. Moving on to Jarvan. He is getting a much needed buff. I think Jarvan is a very cool champion, but he just gets he doesn't shine in the jungle position, he doesn't shine in the Baron lane position, and you could pick him in the mid lane as well, but again, even there as well, he's just not strong enough. He definitely needed some buffs. Quick little spoiler, I don't think he's going to be strong enough quite yet to be picked a lot, but you will be able to make him work a little bit more than before. So let's check the change out. AD per level is getting increased by almost 1 per level. That is very nice. It's gonna help his it's gonna help everything, his basic attacks, his Q and ultimate, because of course they have AD ratios. So that is very nice. Definitely think he needs that one. But he needs some more stuff as well. But let's take a look what else they give him here. They change his passive to it deals some percentage HP damage on the enemy for the first auto attack every couple seconds on that enemy. And now it's going to deal a minimum of 20 damage, okay? So that's going to help him for farming in the lane. It's going to help him for farming the small jungle minions as well, like the little raptors, the little wolves and stuff, the little Krogs probably as well. I don't think it's going to make a difference on the red and blue buff though, because they tend to have quite a bit of health, where the percentage should be higher than this 20 minimum, but it's a nice little quality of life buff. Again, nothing too monumental. Now this is going to be the big buff, okay? His Dragon Strike is getting changed. You know, when you pull yourself to the Demacian standard, you have this little combo where you pull yourself to it and you knock up everyone in the path. Well, that hitbox size, the damage and the knockup, is going to be increased by a lot, by 25%. That's very nice, from 2 to 2.5 units, okay? So the hitbox is going to be much bigger. This is a very much needed change, because I always felt like Jarvan is supposed to be one of these easy to play champions in the jungle, and he should be at least on the same level as an Olaf or a Shyvana, because these are also the easy to play champions. It's fine to have Lee Sin slightly stronger than these if you play him incredibly well, because it's not easy to play him incredibly well. But again, Jarvan is one of those simple champions, but I always felt like it's so easy to dodge his EQ combo. It's really difficult to hit. You have to predict a little bit, whereas on PC you just cast it onto the enemy and it's very simple. So I really agree with this one. Huge fan of this one. I actually suggested this during my live streams in the past where we talked about Jarvan. So yeah, that is going to be great, because keep in mind that's also going to make the EQ and then flash to extend it. That combo, it's going to be much easier to hit, okay? Because you can EQ and then flash on top of the enemy and it extends the knockup. So that's going to make for some nice outplays, hopefully. And that is not it. We still have one more change as well. The ultimate dash speed, so the speed at which you jump to the enemy when you press it, is going to be much faster, almost doubling the speed on it, okay? From 0.4 to 0.25 seconds. So that is going to be nice. Again, I feel like he has much more issues right now. He doesn't deal enough damage. I think he needs more Q damage. He needs a little bit more ultimate damage maybe as well. The AD per level is not going to be enough for that. I think he needs more level 3 damage, because usually on PC, Jarvan is a powerhouse at level 3. He just bops you, mate. He destroys you if he meets you at the Scuttle Crab. Well, in this game, he gets destroyed by pretty much everybody. So I feel like he definitely needs some more love. But if you are a Jarvan main and you don't care about playing only meta, you just love the champion because he has a cool design, because frankly he does, you'll be happy about that. You will feel it and you will have much more success. Moving on to Jax, similar change to Jarvan. The verdict is going to be similar. I feel like Jax is not too good right now. He is not able to lane against a lot of these Baron laners. He is also not too good of a jungler, because again, he also loses these matchups a lot of times. And this change is going to feel very nice if you're a Jax main, but it's not going to make everybody get crazy and pick Jax. Like, it's not going to make him super strong. But again, if you're a Jax main, you will feel it. So pretty much only his Q is getting changed. The range is getting increased from 6 to 6.5. That's a very nice change. That's going to help him a lot. Very nice little quality of life change, you know. So many situations where an enemy just barely gets away, and now you will have that extra range to chase them down. Cooldown is also going down, especially at the early levels. Now, especially at level 1, from 9 to 7.5. But at the maximum level, it's still going to be 6-second cooldown, because of course Jax, if you are able to take him to the late game, he's honestly a very nice champion, he's very strong. However, it is hard to take him to the late game without falling behind. So they're buffing his early game a little bit with this cooldown. Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure you max W first on Jax, and then I'm not sure if you max Q second or if you max E second. If it's E second, then for the most part of the game, you will be sitting at a buffed 1.5 seconds on that cooldown. So that is a very nice, again, very nice change to him. And they're also buffing the damage, but it's only 5 per level. So that is not really going to change too much, but it's going to make your early game trading a little bit better because you usually WQ when you run away. So you're going to have some more oomph into that combo. Again, though, not going to be an OP champion or anything like that. I think he's going to be still sitting in his B tier. You know, you can make him work, but you can't really... Don't expect him to be completely broken now. Now, moving on to Xayah, she's actually getting buffed with this bug fix. So what this bug fix is going to do is her second ability, the little snipe she shoots out, is going to correctly apply the damage of her passive now. As you guys know, her second ability, her W, applies 2 passive stacks onto an enemy. And so if they have 3 stacks already, and you shoot it at them, you fill out the full 5 stacks and it explodes the passive. Well, it didn't deal enough damage before. It was bugged somehow. Now it's going to deal the proper amount of damage of that passive. So that's going to buff her a little bit. I feel like they might have to nerf her in the next couple patches, depending on how strong Xayah is going to be and how she's going to shake up this marksman meta. Because I think Xayah is on the upper bounds of balance right now, but there's lots of good marksmen, so it's not like she's a huge issue or anything. But yeah, I feel like later down the line we might see some Xayah nerfs soon or soonish in the next couple patches, and we'll see how this will turn out. But again, even a slight buff might just push her over the edge, not like Lil Uzi to the edge. Good one, Shurko. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes these jokes just fall flat. It is what it is. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Let's just ignore that cringe. Xayah, what especially this does is it buffs the little hybrid build that I like to use, because you're going to be sending around out many more Ws because of that lower cooldown when you hit that 80 AP threshold and evolve it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. This is going to buff my build. It's going to be really fun. I think I'm going to play her a little bit mid lane, because I've seen that sometimes in my ranked games, and I definitely want to try that out. But yeah, Xayah still pretty much going to be the same. You're going to deal a little bit more damage with that finishing move where you snipe them and they're at 3 stacks. Moving on to Kennen. Finally, the little rat boy is getting nerfed, and let me tell you guys, this is a huge nerf. This is absolutely insane. But that being said, I have some criticism here, because I don't think it's hitting the right areas. But we will get into this throughout this. So, base AD is getting nerfed from 58 to 52, and the movement speed is also getting nerfed from 335 to 330. While these may not seem like a lot, well, the base AD is a lot. 6 AD is it's a huge nerf on level 1. That's crazy, right? The move speed doesn't seem like it's a lot. Keep in mind, Kennen right now, his strongest position is the Baron lane. That is where he's most problematic. And his strong point is, into melee matchups, he keeps auto-attacking them. He keeps bonking them with his little kunai, with his little shuriken there, and he just pokes you out in the lane early on, and it's just super annoying to deal with. Well, this 6 base AD nerf is gonna make these auto-attacks hit way less. So that is really nice. That's going to give melee top laners, Baron laners, a lot more options to lane against him, because they will be able to get some more CS, because they'll be able to brush off some more of his auto attacks. Now, the move speed does a similar thing, because again, he relies on chasing you down, auto attacking you a little bit, and then instantly moving straight away when a Darius is like trying to hook him in or something. So again, this is going to make him a little bit slower in that kind of trading pattern. Not only that though, because this is a champion, Kennen, that really relies on move speed if you think about it. His ultimate is around him, so he really needs to chase you down if you are able to run away or dash away, if he's not able to instantly hit you with the stun. So this is also a nice nerf to that. And on top of that, the meta right now, in higher elos especially, it's all about the first dragon fight. I mean, I'm seeing people in higher elos, they just surrender at 6 minutes when the first dragon fight fails. It is absolutely unreal. And honestly, I can a little bit understand them because the dragons are so powerful, and usually if you just win the first dragon fight, if you get 3 kills on a dragon, the game is very doomed for the enemies. And Kennen is great at that. He's great at pushing the top lane, the Baron lane, and then just moving down. Again, the move speed nerf is gonna hit that a little bit as well. Moving on to finally some of his ability nerfs. Q is not getting changed at all, his first ability, but his second ability, Electrical Surge, is getting a nice nerf here. It's going from 12 seconds cooldown to 15 seconds at level 1. However, at level max level, it's going to be 6 seconds even after the nerf, okay? So we're going to have, since in the Baron lane, most of the time you max this ability unless you are going up against a ranged matchup, then you can max your Q, your first ability. But in this case, pretty early on, you will be able to brush this cooldown to very comparable levels to before this nerf. So this won't really make too much of a change, okay? Because usually in lane at level 1, you poke with it, you get your 5 stacks, you auto attack the enemy, then you use it, right? And now, I mean, until you get those 5 stacks again, you are able to get an auto attack onto the enemy with that W passive, it's gonna be the same. Like the cooldown is gonna be over anyway. So this is not gonna make too much of a difference. However, now we're hitting that obnoxious AoE damage of him. Okay, let's first, before we check out the ultimate nerf, let's check out that third ability nerf. Lightning Rush. Base damage is getting nerfed, and the AP ratio as well. The base damage pretty much by 15 at each level. This is especially, if you think about it, you know, a Kennen doesn't really hit you with his E, right? With his Lightning Rush. He runs in with it, flashes in, uses ult, Ws, and uses Zhonya's. And you just pretty much burn down to the ultimate and to the W. That is his most AoE damage. Most of the time, he's not going to actually hit you with that Lightning Rush unless you're a melee champion. So yeah, so that is not going to do too much, but along with the AP ratio as well, it's going to hurt his wave clear, because he really oftentimes uses this ability, especially early game, for that wave clear. So that is really nice, because again, it's going to nerf his little playstyle where he clears the wave in the Baron lane as soon as the dragon spawns and then just roams down with it, okay? So this is very nice. And now the big one, the heavy hitter, the ultimate nerf that we were all waiting for, because this ability is pretty BS, let's just say that. Base damage is getting nerfed by 5, 10, and 15 per level here. So 5 at level 1, 10 at level 2, and 15 at the maximum level. And keep in mind, these are multiple little hits that hit you, right? So it's gonna add up to quite a large amount at the end of the day. And not only that, the big one is the AP ratio nerf on it. From 0.2 to 0.15, again, per hit. So again, this adds up. You are pretty much looking at somewhere along the lines of, I mean, from the AP ratio nerf itself, it's a 25% decrease in damage on his ultimate, which for most champions is gonna allow them to just barely survive it and flash away or whatever, right? You're not gonna get completely one-shot. That being said, I feel like one of his heavy hitters is his Q and the W damage. Okay, so his first and second ability, especially his second ability, you know, you jump into a team fight, you apply the stacks with your ultimate, and then you finish off everyone with that W, which really does like half of a squishy champion's health bar, which I think these two abilities should have also received some AP ratio nerfs, which is exactly why I think that Kennen is still gonna be very strong. Is he going to be completely broken first pick? I don't think so, but we'll have to see. I think he's definitely still going to be playable. Maybe not S tier anymore, but still A tier in my opinion. And I hope he's going to be A tier so I can play him again, so he stops being a soy pick, because I ran out of soy milk, guys. It is what it is. I cannot play these soy champions anymore. If you're playing them, slurping your soy milk, hey, power to you. It is all good. Moving on to Lee Sin. He's getting, once again, a nice little nerf. At this point, it is a tradition to just nerf Lee Sin every single patch. It is like that better nerf Irelia meme from back in the days, Season 2, Season 3 of League of Legends PC. But yeah, Lee Sin, another nerf. Not too big though. Knockback range on the ultimate is getting reduced. This is really nice. You know, for great Lee Sin players, it's not gonna make too much of a difference. But for Lee Sins who just face roll you, they just Q, you know, they just W in, flash behind you, you're sitting in your mid lane, farming happily, and they just flash behind you and they just ult you in, and you're not fast enough to react to his kick, so you are not able to kick before, which in which case he would kick you away, which is good, right? You don't die. But yeah, he just kicks you into the middle of the lane, and you're just the distance is so long, you pretty much can't escape. You're done so. And yeah, with this is gonna be definitely much smaller, man. 0.75 units. Quick maths by the way. Man, it's not hot. Is gonna be the reduction, so that's gonna be feel pretty nice. But again, if you are a Lee Sin main, don't you worry. He's still gonna be very strong. I still think he's gonna be one of the strongest jungle champions in the game. And even with that recent nerf on the last patch, he is already seeing much less play. So honestly, man, I'm fine with Lee Sin nowadays. And this is going to make me even more fine with him. But again, if you like Lee Sin, he's still going to be top tier. Moving on to Tristana. She is getting some much, and I'm saying much needed buffs. Holy moly. I tried to make her work so many times, guys. Let me tell you. And it just wouldn't work, man. I always felt useless. I feel like the main issue on Tristana is that you don't have enough time. Everything is so bursty in Wild Rift that in this dual lane matchup where most people try to play her, I still think her best position is mid lane. But you're gonna get trolled if you pick Tristana mid lane, let me tell you that. People are just gonna stay in base, so unless you wanna play 1v5. I didn't even attempt to try it, but I will after this patch and make a video about it. But yeah, in the duo lane, in the 2v2, it's almost impossible to hit 4 auto attacks to make that third ability explode onto an enemy before someone dies. Like, people just die straight up in a 2v2. You have so much damage being exchanged. It is just so fast. In the mid lane, it's much more possible. That's why in that 1v1, that's why I think it's you can make her work better there. Also, she scales very well with levels because her one-shot potential increases with her base damages, which are pretty nice. So that's why I think she's going to be very nice in the mid lane. But again, you will be, if you like Tristana, you will definitely be able to pull her off in that marksman position much more now, okay? And maybe she's getting overbuffed, but let's check it out. First of all, Rapid Fire, her Q, first ability, is getting buffed. Attack speed by 20 per level more. That is insane. Like, level 1, it's getting doubled, basically. And since you max the third ability first, this feels very nice, especially for those early exchanges. Let's say you're level 4. You have Q, W, and E at 2 points, okay? So you have Q with a 30% attack speed. Like, you're never gonna get these 4 auto attacks, bro. But with 50%, that's already pretty decent. And 110 bonus attack speed at max level, that is might solidify her as the best late game marksman, which currently I would give that scepter to Jinx, but I feel like, especially with the duration increase from 5 seconds to 7 seconds as well, this seems insane. So this is definitely a very nice change. Her rocket jump, her second ability, is also getting buffed. Pretty much 25 bonus damage. Yes, 25 bonus damage at each rank, which, keep in mind, you reset that on kill and on E pop, okay? So if you get 3 auto attacks, you jump onto them, boom, the E explodes, you get another jump, okay? You reset the cooldown. So you can double that bonus damage, basically. So we're looking at 50 bonus damage in her full combo, which, at each rank, which is honestly very, very nice. I feel like she's gonna be very playable. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying her out. I really, really like Tristana. I think it's a fun champion. Moving on, her E, they made a mistake. Explosive Charge is the third ability. Don't ignore this 2 here. Her third ability is also getting buffed. The little explosion thingy, the little grenade. Passive base damage is going up. The passive is of course the little damage that when you last hit a minion, for example, or an enemy champion, it explodes, and that passive is going up from 40, pretty much 15 at each level. Yes, so you're going to be able to push much faster, which is honestly very nice because she doesn't really have any AoE abilities unless you want to use your third ability onto one of the minions, which usually you don't want to just waste that cooldown like that. Then active base damage is going up by a lot here. Early game pretty timid, only 5, 10, 15, and then 20 at max rank. And keep in mind, this is the base damage. The more auto attacks you hit during it, the more it amplifies this base damage. So this will snowball with 4. If you hit the full 4 and force it to explode, it's gonna deal a very, very nice amount of damage. But again, I think she needs this. And wow, the AD ratio is getting cracked out, bro. Nah, bro. This, I mean, 110 right now. I don't know if most of you probably didn't even try Tristana. But this didn't feel like it deals a low amount of damage late game. But they're pretty much slapping almost 50%. Well, they are slapping 50% of bonus AD to it. But I mean, 50% half of the previous AD ratio on top of it, almost, right? Crazy. I don't know, I can't really judge Tristana. I really didn't try her out enough, but I definitely think with these changes just on paper, she will be more than just playable. S tier, maybe not, because she's honestly a D tier right now, but maybe an A tier. Maybe we'll see a low or high A tier even. S tier, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Because her base attack speed still feels very low. So, but with it's gonna do a lot, man. That Q change, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Look out for the mid lane Tristana gameplay. Moving on, Twisted Fate. By the way, Tristana mid lane is a very good pick against Twisted Fate. Okay, so this is something to put into context here. Very important. Tristana mid lane is a really, really clean pick in lane against the Twisted Fate, and I think we're gonna see a lot of Twisted Fate after this change. Because this change is crazy. I'm so looking forward to it. I love Twisted Fate. I kept telling you that you can't just pick him into any matchup. And I think now you will be able to blind pick him because he will be so strong that even if he's getting bullied by the Orianna or by the, I don't know, by a Fizz and stuff, you're still going to make so much impact on the game that it's going to be worth if you're a great Twisted Fate. Let's check it out. His second ability, pick a card, is getting a huge buff. First of all, blue card, Mana Restoration, is going up 50 to 60 at level 1. If you ever played Twisted Fate, you know how low this mana regeneration is on that blue card. It is way too low. It feels terrible. So I'm very glad they're buffing that. 65 to 90, 80 to 120, and then 95 to 150, bro. That is unreal. You're gonna replenish so much mana late game, and it's gonna feel so good to use this blue card now, because that is not it. That is not the only change to it. They're also buffing the AP ratio by a lot. 0.5 to 0.8. So your one-shot combo, if you're melee range against someone and you know your Q is gonna hit, you don't need to stun them. Boom, get that blue card. Straight into their face, you know? Hey. Heart of the cards. Hey. It's not a gold card anymore that you're trying to summon with the heart of the cards. It's not a Ra, it's a Obelisk, the Punisher, bro. You know what I mean? You pull it out, you banish them straight into the Shadow Realm. I'm telling you, this is gonna be insane damage. You will just punch them into the face with that, cue them into the face, have that stack deck ready as well, and it's gonna be a proper one-shot. Let me tell you, squishy champions, squishy marksmen, they're gone. They're gone, man. This is gonna be really fun. The red card is also getting buffed on the AP ratio, 0.5 to 0.65. Gonna feel very nice, especially in a team fight. AoE AP ratio buff, super nice. And now the gold star, the gold card stun duration from pretty much 0.5 seconds longer on each level. So 2 seconds at maximum level. Very nice. Okay, I feel like it's needed though, because again, Twisted Fate felt a little bit underwhelming. This might be a little bit too much, but I definitely think Twisted Fate will be picked a lot more now in ranked by a lot more players as well, not only just the Twisted Fate mains. And yeah, you'll be able to do, hey, you'll be able to pull out some magic tricks with this one, like the magician he is, because this is always one of the best solo queue picks because you can impact the full map, you can split push late game, you can also team fight pretty well, especially with his red card AP ratio buff. And yeah, all in all, really stoked for this. Guys, I'm loving these changes this patch. Moving on to Yasuo here. Is already going to be the last champion change, as you can see. He's getting a buff. Yasuo is getting a buff. Now, I don't know, it's kind of a rebalance. They say it's a buff, but it's kind of a rebalance at the end of the day. Because you have the base damage increased on his ultimate. 200 at level 1, still going to stay the same. 50 increase at level 2, from 300 to 350. And then 400 to 500 at max level. Now, this isn't going to do, this isn't going to do like an insane amount. This isn't going to change a lot, but it's a nice little buff. I feel like Yasuo is a very strong champion. He might even be OP, but there's not a lot of people who mastered him yet, of course, since he's probably the hardest champion in the game. I'm also struggling with him. Hey, if you want to see that, check out my live streams again. It is honestly fun when I pick this. Hey, you can spam a lot of Omega lols in the chat. You can spam a lot of Pepe laughs as well. It is pretty fun. But yeah, I feel like he's just really hard to play, but he's in a very good spot. And again, I don't think this is just a full buff because yeah, they're also reducing the animation time of his ultimate, but also reducing the knock-up duration as a result of it. So his ultimate is gonna knock up a little bit for a lower duration. But of course, in most cases, in a team fight, for example, this is gonna be good if you hit like 2 people and you ult on top of them and 3 other enemies are just beating you up while you're doing that for 1.5 seconds. That's gonna be good. Plus, you're gonna queue ideally before you jump onto them with your ult, and then you can queue right after. So the cooldown is low enough that this is not gonna change that, right? However, yeah, sometimes if you knock up 2 people in a 2v2 skirmish, your other teammate really appreciates that 0.25 seconds of bonus knockup. So we'll see. It is a little bit of a rebalance. Definitely gonna feel a little bit cooler though because everything is gonna be faster. The combo is gonna be faster. So yeah, pretty. I don't know what to think about this. I'm not a Yasuo main, but I think he's still gonna be pretty much the same. Moving on to items. Youmuu's Ghostblade is getting a much needed nerf, and I really think this item is cracked out. I mean, every single AD jungler is just building it first item because you can just rotate so fast with it. Lots of marksmen are building it as well. And I still think lots of champions are going to build it. The people that build it already are still going to build it because it is still going to make you move just as fast. Spectral haste unchanged, as you can see. However, they're removing the attacks convert momentum into bonus magic damage on hit. So that means you will just, when you hit the enemy with your auto attack, you will not deal bonus magic damage based on how fast you were running before. So yeah, definitely taking some power away from this item, but it's still going to be really, really strong. It's still going to be the item to get if you are a champion that scales with attack damage, armor penetration, and if you want to run fast, which a lot of champions want. So I feel like Misfortune and stuff, still going to buy that, and don't worry about it. Just keep buying it. But keep in mind, it's not as OP as it used to be. Moving on to Deadman's Plate, similar, exactly the same. Attacks convert momentum into bonus magic damage on hit. That is going to be removed. So the same change as for the Youmuu's Ghostblade. But they are adding something to the Deadman's Plate. Crushing Blow. This is going to be the new passive, which is going to have a different name than the momentum passive. So that is good. Attacks deal magic damage equal to momentum stacks removed. Melee attacks that expand max momentum also slow by 50% for 1 second. Okay, so if you're a melee champion with a Deadman's Plate, you will slow the enemy by 50% for 1 second. But you won't deal Hold up, attacks deal magic damage, stacks removed. Okay, so you won't deal bonus magic damage with those stacks though. You will just slow them now if you have that running fast momentum active. So that's honestly really nice. It's gonna give Mundo and stuff some more slow, like you will hit a cleaver, you will run melee range and you just speed them up. It's also gonna be very nice for my Blitzcrank that I still like to play with Deadman's Plate because it gives you those, yeah, it's gonna be nice for Alistair as well. You know, you can go for an early Deadman's Plate and then just roam around the map with the bonus move speed. You can just dash onto them, knock them up, use your E and they just auto attack and they're slowed now. They're slowed because of this new passive. So they can't get away from your little earthquakes, so you can trigger the stun of your third ability. So honestly, really nice change. Gonna be a very nice item. Already a super nice, strong tank item. Gonna be even more attractive now to a lot of champions. Stacking the effects, yeah, moving on. This is already the explanation for this next nerf, because Redemption, the redeeming enchant, is getting nerfed. And I agree with this. Both of these, we can just pair them up together. Locket enchant and redeeming enchant are receiving the same nerfs, because in esports, people are stacking these. Full 5 teams are buying these. You should do that in solo queue as well. In higher elos, sometimes people do it, and it's honestly very OP. Because let's take the Locket enchant for example. You use the shield during a team fight, your 4 other teammates use it as well. It stacks completely. So you're looking at a 1000 health shield during a team fight on all 5 members. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Definitely outweighs the power of having 5 Zhonya's or something during the team fight. So yeah, honestly, it was pretty broken. Luckily, not a lot of people were abusing it, but some people were with the trio queue stuff. But you know these soy boys, man, they abuse everything they can get their hands on. But yeah, and the Redemption is getting the same treatment, because you could do the same with that. Just cast these 5 circles on top of each other and everyone heals to full HP during a team fight, which is very, very insane. Yeah, so that's good that this is getting, well, I didn't even change the nerf. It's getting reduced by 50% if the target has been affected by another Redemption. So now the consecutive ones are gonna be less effective by 50%, which is a lot, and it should take away this stacking of Locket enchant completely, because 20 seconds is a long time as well. It's not like you can just wait until the effect expires and then just use yours after your teammate used his. This is going to be very nice. You will probably still see these items on the supports though. So yeah, moving on to gameplay. We have some new features. Ability to order in which enemies appear when using port, redlock. I mean, there's some nice little quality of life things. Reduce gold from minions if using smite. Yeah, sure. We have some very nice little quality of life things here. But added the ability to see your exact latency in game. Yeah. The in-game chat settings. Okay, so the big things though here are this one, okay? Gameplay changes, excuse me. Hand of Baron. The Baron buff that buffs up your minions, right? Have you ever felt like, you know, the enemies are sitting there buffing up their minions, they rotate a wave to the next wave, and the minions just stay buffed up for so long, even though no enemies with the Baron buff are nearby? Well, I also felt this was way too long. Luckily, they realized that, and they're nerfing that from 10 to 5 seconds. So after the enemy runs away, gets outside of the minion's range to buff them up, they're not going to be sitting with that buffed up, with that Baron buff for 10 more seconds, but instead only 5 more seconds. So it's going to be much easier to clear out these waves when the enemies rotate away. Very nice change. I really agree with this one. Moving on to this Rift Scuttler change. This is a pretty big one for jungling, okay? Rift Scuttler now spawns similarly to League PC. At the start of the game, just like always in Wild Rift right now, you will get 2 on each side. Okay, so 1 on each side, right? 2 in total. That's going to be the first spawn at 125 into the game. The Rift Scuttler spawn, of course. So let's say one jungler starts red side, the other jungler starts enemy red side. They go over like this. They do the Rift Scuttler each, and they're happy, right? Then they go gank maybe, and next spawn they do it again. Okay, they just keep trading these Rift Scuttlers. This won't work anymore because the next spawns will only spawn one Scuttler on either side and randomly spawned thereafter, okay? So all next respawns for the Rift Scuttlers, it's only going to be one on the whole map. So one side will be without the Rift Scuttler. So that's going to promote much more fighting for these, because 120 gold is quite a bit. It's a very nice small objective that you have to fight for usually. And I mean, if you can get 2 Rift Scuttlers on the first rotation, you're a very happy jungler, let me tell you. So yeah, it's definitely going to be very important to properly play the macro around this change. And honestly, I like it because it's going to promote more fighting in the early game. It's also going to promote the mid laner to pay attention to that and be ready for his jungler there to help him out for that little fight. And that is pretty much going to be it for all the balance changes. This was a pretty long patch. I don't know how long I've been talking here. I'm hoping not too long. I hope I didn't bore you. As always, let me know if it was too long or too short. I'm trying to hit the sweet spot, you know, like I hit the sweet spot with your sister. Ah, Shurko, you have to stop flaming them, bro. Seriously, man. They watch your videos, man. Shurko, stop flaming them. Sorry, guys. Moving on. We have some other changes as well. And this is actually very nice. These little chests that you have these weekly quests on, they will give much more blue motes now. They're pretty much giving you 100 bonus blue motes for the chest 1 for the activity 120 points. They're giving you more blue motes for, yeah, again, 100 more blue motes at level 2. And they're also going to be raising the activity points for the last chest. But you should still be able to easily obtain that if you play a decent amount of Wild Rift per week. And then they're just doubling it, bro. 200 to 425, more than doubling it. So you will be getting 425, quick maths, more blue motes per week. Very, very nice. Honestly, very, very nice. I feel like the game is already so free to play. You can already easily unlock all these champions, or a lot of champions, all the ones you want to play in ranked, by just playing. And this is going to make that even easier. So, I don't know, let me know your thoughts on this, but I think that is really, really nice. Added the ability to give the recalls, baubles, and emotes. So, wow, that is crazy as well, man. They're really adding a lot of juicy stuff here. And we have the free-to-play rotation as well here for the next 2 weeks. Very nice. You'll be able to try out my favorite, Rayquaza, Slifer, Skydragon. You know, maybe you will be able to banish the enemies to the Shadow Realm. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. This is pretty much it for this whole patch rundown. I think it's a very, very nice patch. I think the clear winners of this are Twisted Fate, Tristana, although maybe not winner enough, but it's a huge buff. The loser is Kennen, of course. And the other winner, the big winner, is Corki. And I think whenever these two guys here come out as well, they are going to be very, very strongly positioned in the meta as well. And yeah, man, this game keeps on getting better and better. I am really happy. This company, Riot Games, you know, people flame them, but they're doing a good job with these recent patch updates. And yeah, with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, please feel free to leave any feedback in the comments below. Feel free to just let me know your thoughts, you know, on the patch notes. If you tried Tristana maybe more games than me, I tried her 3 games, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, if you tried her a lot of times, maybe you can give me more context if this is gonna be OP. And yeah, as always, I read all the comments and I reply to most of them. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, I'll be signing off and peace.